We're going back to that era of Hollywood when good looks, leather jackets, gelled hair ruled, and time stood still. The 1980s and 1990s were legendary eras not only for cinema but also for charisma. The male actors of that era weren't just stars, they were icons, legends. Today, as we look at their before and afters, we relive the magic of an era. Tom Cruise continues to rule the skies with the same energy. Brad Pitt becomes even more impressive with age. Johnny Depp is reborn with each of his personalities, but his face clearly shows the true transformation. In the 1990s, Leonardo DiCaprio was a teenage dream who is now a legendary Oscar winner. Keanu Reeves. Time truly seems to have stood still for him. Dirty Dancing is still one of the favourite songs of Patrick Swayze, the king of romance and dance. Richard Gere, in his white suit, was the epitome of style. Mel Gibson was the god of action. Harrison Ford will always be remembered for his roles as Indiana Jones and Han Solo. Denzel Washington's charisma has stood the test of time. George Clooney went from being the suave doctor of television to the most sophisticated man in Hollywood. Mark Wahlberg, that legendary name who transitioned from music to film, has revitalized his career. Ben Affleck and Matt Damon's Good Will Hunting is a wonderful film with many interesting characters. In the 1980s, Rob Lowe and Christian Slater were the stars who best embodied the rebellious spirit of that decade. In those years, charisma was all too real. The silver screen was dominated by the power of names like Wesley Snipes, Dolph Lundgren, and Jean-Claude Van Damme. With his effervescent enthusiasm, Nicolas Cage took the world of cinema to a whole new level. Hugh Grant and Pierce Brosnan brought British charm and elegance to Hollywood. But everything changes over time. These men, captivating in their youth, are now living legends of cinema. Some have quietly retreated into their corners, while others are still on the stage. But all of them, they immortalized an era forever. This video is much more than just a historical tour. It's an emotional journey. Among those lights, those movies, and that laughter, we find our own youth. If you're ready, let's return to the magic of the 1980s and 1990s. We're bringing Hollywood's golden boys back to the stage.